Oh, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our webinar. We will get started in about 1 minute. We're waiting for a few last people to show up, so just bear with us. We'll be starting in about 1 minute. And thank you for being with us today. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Today, we're going to be talking about critical ways, 5 critical ways specifically forwarders should leverage tech in 2019. So it's about time to get started. I want to thank all of you for being with us today. And first of all, let me tell you who it is that who's joining us with us today. So my name is Jose Barahona. I'm the general sales manager of Magaya. Uh, Before we kind of get started, let me tell you a little bit about Magaya. We serve about 1,700 customers in 72 countries. And what we do is really help customers leverage some of that tech that we're going to talk about today and automate their business. And we are partners in different associations in Latin America, worldwide. And we've been serving forwarders, 3PLs, and now people in e-commerce since 2001. So I want to welcome all of you and thank you for the opportunity of joining us here today. So hopefully we'll get some good information out of this, and we will have a question and answer at the end. So feel free to ask away any questions. We'll try our best to get back to you. And if I don't have the answer for you at the beginning, we'll gladly get back to you with the right answer afterwards. So let's go ahead and get started. So should freight forwarders be thinking about technology? Well, the short answer is yes. In fact, we have to be thinking about technology because that's really where everything has been moving forward. Ever since the beginning of time, saying, hey, we invented the airplane. What happens to ocean shipping? We still have ocean shipping today. That hasn't gone away. 80% of cargo still moves that way. Now, let's talk about the first point. We have to be flexible. And I say we because I used to be in freight forwarding in the past. Forwarders need to be flexible. You see, we have to be able to go ahead and embrace the changes that are happening within the industry. So many people that we talk to nowadays, technology for them is working on some Excel document or Word document, and that's how they're working. That is as technological as they get. And we don't move forward. We continue working with those type of archaic systems. And as forwarders, excuse me, as forwarders, we have to deal with many different things that are thrown our way. It seems that we are missing cutoffs, we have last minute cancellations, we have trip reschedules, and these are just some of the day-to-day things that happen to us. So we have to embrace technology. We have to be able to go ahead and find a different way to do what we're doing better. And that's really what technology is. Technology helps us do what we do better. We have to be able to find different products to be able to get to point A to point B faster, more efficient, and being able to give more people there. In fact, some of the things when we talk about embracing technology could be items like the e-airway bill, for example. So many of us continue to print on the 8-sided sheets of paper. We continue to do that, and we think that that impact printer is the greatest thing because we no longer have to use typewriters. Well, now we have an even better way to be able to actually get the airway bill over to the airlines. So what happens? We don't embrace the technology to help us get to that airway bill electronically. We want to continue sending the paper. And what's worse, some of us, and I put myself there, still don't trust technology enough to want to move forward and move in that route. So the first thing I want to say is we've got to embrace technology. We've got to be able to find a provider that helps us do what we do and do it better. Okay? And that involves the EVGM, airway bill, being able to connect with our clients. And we'll get to that in a little bit because this is the second part. You know, a lot of people are saying, Jose, what happens? You know, we are seeing trends where in our industry we're now seeing different drones and robots come into what was just basically manpower. And now we're seeing robots who are picking, who are moving through the warehouse, doing these things. So all these intelligent warehouse is what's going on. And if we just Google intelligent warehouse, we're going to find a whole lot of reports and results based on what is moving that way. So we have to be able to embrace what is happening, not just with the robots, right? But being able to have the right technology to give the customers and the people we serve information right when they need it, not just when they ask for it. Okay? So point number 2, when it comes to forwarders, we need to find a way to leverage this technology. I mean, we are living in the information age. Everything is in front of us. You know, if you need something, you can kind of go into a search engine and find anything about it. Find who did it, when they did it, why they did it that way, how long it took them to do it. It gives us all the information we have. Items where we would take 3 or 4 different phone calls, now just the click of a button allows us to do that. And it's interesting, you, your clients, and your competitors have access to data at the press of a button. And this is important. We think we're the only ones with cutting edge technology. In reality, a person who you're competing with probably has technology that we don't know about, that you don't know about. You can have external data, like I mentioned earlier. You can look at market trends. You can look at the contact of businesses information for future prospects. You can export or import any trade data for that specific country you want to work with or that product you want to import or export. But internally is just as important, because here you have to look at the financials. For your products, for the channels, for that customer that you want to work with, you want to look at the operational data, make sure that it's exactly in the state that the business is in. You want to look at the accounting data that is tied directly to operations. This is so important. When I worked in logistics, it was always difficult for me to know what my final profit was because I had to wait for accounting. And those of you who are in accounting here with me today, I hope you don't get mad, but it would always take a little bit. And sometimes my numbers were off and they had to go ahead and fix it. So there was always that disconnect. And in reality, being able to get that information through technology nowadays is a lot easier. You also have to be able to look at the business intelligence. Some of us don't know how much we're shipping to a specific country or a specific customer, or maybe we're serving the same product to do different customers, and we're able to see which customer is moving what product faster. So we have to look at business intelligence as a whole using technology. Now, at the same time, technology also allows us to be able to process orders a lot faster. So here's a quick screenshot of one of the products that we have. You're able to move data at the speed of logistics. Before, you would have to fax it, and that's as fast as we can get. Now we were sending emails, and maybe 3 or 4 emails got you the right information. Nowadays, you're able to, at a click of a button, be able to send your whole complete set of documents with accounting information over your agent at the other side of the world. And it's really impressive for you to be able to do that. Now, some of you are saying, I wish I could do that. Some of you are saying, I have some of that. And some of you do have that capability right now, and you want to be able to bring even more efficiency to it. So that's part of being able to have technology and the trends that you have, being able to process orders faster worldwide. And that's not just, when it comes to freight forwarding, airway bills. We're talking about being able to process a purchase order, generate a sales order for inventory that's in another warehouse. All of that information needs to move at the speed of logistics. And that's one of the things that I like to say. Here in Magaya, we like to move at the speed of logistics because it is fast, and all our clients want their data and their cargo there yesterday. Now, another way we want to do this is helping you make decisions based on real-time accounting reports. Now, I've mentioned accounting a few minutes ago, and it's so important. There is this disconnect between what happens in the warehouse, people who have no AC, and what happens with people in the warehouse, people who have AC. And there's that internal turmoil of always, we got the order on time, I didn't get the paperwork on time, we're still missing, we haven't been able to invoice you as some of decision makers that are here with us today. You're able to have to wait to be able to make a decision if you want to continue working within that customer, that provider, and you're not able to make decisions on real-time accounting. You're having to wait. And we know that in our business, when it comes to logistics, time is money. You miss out on that airplane, you miss out on that cutoff, and it could mean big repercussions at the end of the day. And that's just freight. Imagine having the same type of delays when it comes to making a decision to move your business to the next level. So that's important for us to be able to do that. Okay. So point number 3, we're looking at forwarders that should embrace globalization. Okay. Now, you may be thinking, Jose, I'm already global. I already ship all my cargo to halfway across the world. That's not really the globalization we're discussing here and what we want to talk about. Yes, we know you can ship globally. We know you can ship your cargo anywhere in the world in 2 days. I understand that. But we want to be able to talk about globalization as a means to gaining more partners around the globe. Not just partners, but also the people you serve. Right now, when we look at supply chain, you're requiring a coordinated effort of different parties worldwide to be able to know what you're working with. So it's no longer just about the cargo, but it's about the information that you are sending to these people. And here we have some examples. We have the final customer, we have the supplier, the manufacturer, the distributor, the vendor, the transporter, the salespeople. All of these people need to be connected in a way that they go right back to where it all begins or where it all moves, and that's your business. You in freight forwarding need to be able to embrace these types of data. What ends up happening is we are very reactive. We react to what the customer says. That's how I worked. Unfortunately, I used to react. The customer would scream, I would go ahead and make 20 phone calls, get it resolved, but it was always based on a reaction that the customer wanted. Having data and being able to look at these trends in tech allows you to be able to be not just flexible, but also be able to be proactive. Okay? Excuse me. Being able to be very proactive in not being reactive to the customer and saying, here's the information you need. Imagine processing an order and your customer, your supplier, and your vendor automatically get an email stating what is the status of that transaction. They would know when it was received, when it was repackaged, when it was sent to the ship, when it left, all that information within a click of a button. And that's the idea behind all this. It's a matter of being reactive within the customer, not being reactive, but being proactive. How does that work? How does that work in the real world? Well, we start with baby steps. First thing we want to do is get our customers to use their phones. Everyone has a smartphone nowadays. It's very difficult to not have a smartphone for our customers to do that. Most of the time when we talk to customers about technology and software, first things they say to us is, Jose, my customers are not tech savvy. It's very difficult for them to go to a portal and kind of log in and password, they'll forget. But you know what? Everyone has a smartphone. In fact, we're glued to them. Right now, some of you are watching what's on your screen and also listening to this webinar. But how can we do that? How can we transition? Well, give your customers a portal, but that's not in a website somewhere. That's in the actual phone. They can see where their shipment is, right? Can I make a payment without talking to a person? That's very important. Some of us would like that. How do I get updated uh, regarding important milestones, right? And are my products still at the warehouse or in transit? Well, even an interesting question is, hey, I just got a notification from Amazon that it will arrive, but yet in your warehouse, I don't see it or I haven't received anything. So that's the kind of items that you'll be able to move information to the customer without them having to call you and you react to it. So the idea is to give your customers this one way in their phones to look at that. And in these screens here, we're looking at shipments, we're looking at masters, houses, waybill numbers, we're looking at a warehouse receipt, we're looking at different events. We can see when it was delivered to the consignee, we can see pictures, we can see signatures. At the same time, we're also able to look at invoices, things that are important to us as well as the customer. That's all the way from left to right. We're looking at items that are important to the customer, and the final one to the right, items that are important to us, making sure that we get paid on time and the customer doesn't say, I haven't received that invoice, can you resend it again for the third time? So it's important for us to be able to do that. And that's part of that. Part of that globalization is not just sending information, is being able for them to review it and see it there. So the other thing that's important that happens a lot to us here in Magaya is that customers want to know who they can work with. We get a lot of phone calls here that don't necessarily have to do with technology. People say, Jose, what's the best way for me to manage my warehouse? What's the best way for me to manage an employee that's off-site? How do I get purchase orders into my software system? One key question that always comes up every time we get a new customer is, Jose, I need to ship this cargo to a new country and I don't have an agent. Do you happen to have an agent there? Magaya, some of you don't have a relationship with us, and we thank you for being here and learning a little bit more about Magaya. Magaya is not a freight forwarder. We are a software provider, and we service freight forwarders worldwide. So yes, there are other companies like you who have invested in this technology, who are working with Magaya software systems around the clock, all over the world, and they also are looking to do business with people here in the US, in the Americas, in Europe. And they always ask, do you have someone in Colombia? Do you have someone in Honduras? Do you have someone in China, in Australia, in Hong Kong? And it allows you to be able to build relationships with these potential partners around the world. So the first question is, do you have someone in X country? And we say, yes. Why we do? Let me look at the network and find it there. And the next question they ask is, are they trustworthy? Well, the only question I can answer to that, and usually as a joke, well, they pay their bills on time. That usually gets them laughing. I go, listen, I don't know if they pay their bills on time. I'm not in accounting, but they do use the software, and they are a company that's thriving. It's very difficult for a company to embrace technology that's not thriving. You have to remember that. Technology will always be here. It's not going to go away anytime soon. So a company that embraces this type of technology is thriving. So you're going to find companies that care about delivering products enough to also invest in their supply chain process. In this case, software. You can show your customers that you care about them enough to select the right partners. This is also important. Selecting the right customer is as important as working with the right people overseas, making sure that they'll deliver on what you've promised to the customer at origin or that manufacturer. And again, it lowers the cost. Having the same technology at origin and destination gives you the ability to talk the same language. When one software is updated, for example, if you had Magaya, you will be able to actually ask that agent to update their system. and both of you will be working with the same up-to-date information and up-to-date features and benefits that come with having software like Magaya. Now, if we look here at the chart, we have the Magaya network. Now in here you have tracking, right? You can chat with people. Imagine having your agent overseas who has the same software, and you're able to look at an airway bill and say, I wonder if this airway bill has been received at the actual warehouse and if they're deconsolidating. Well, you can actually open up the chat, send that agent that airway bill and say, hey, I have a quick question about this. Is this in your warehouse yet? And if it is, you can turn right around and send that to the customer saying, this was just received. I just confirmed. We should be able to get this out to you tomorrow or sometime later this afternoon. So you have the ability to chat with your agent. You have the ability to chat with your customers when they're doing the online chatting. At the same time, it gives all the agents to work on one main portal. I mean, at the same time, they're working on individual systems, but you're working as if you were doing your own social cargo network, if you want to call it that. And again, you're connecting to your customers. You can also search for partners. You can start by country. You can select a country, and the system will tell you which people have Magaya within that country itself. Again, all this business-to-business communication, real-time tracking changes the way your customers see you, and at the same time, you're leveraging that technology for the growth of your business. Okay? So I hope that was a good point here when it comes to the network. Most of you are part of cargo networks, but all of you use different softwares. Imagine if everyone in your network had the same software where you can seamlessly transfer information. Some of you may say, Jose, I have that right now. I have an API that allows me to make a change. Well, what happens when that customer updates your software? That API needs to be updated. That API needs to be changed. And sometimes there's a cost involved with that. If you have everyone in the same network working with the same software, it gives the ability for you to transfer information seamlessly without having to wait for an update for one or the other. Okay? Let's talk about point number 4. Now, this is important. I used to be a warehouse supervisor at one point in my past life, and my software was Excel. So at this point here, forwarders with warehouses need to use or may want to use software to be as efficient as possible. One of my biggest thing was, how can I get what's being received from that truck to show up on my system as fast as possible so my customer doesn't call me every 2 minutes to find out what the status is and where that cargo has gone or has not gone. And that's the biggest thing. Customers are always requesting information. The best thing about what we do is the amount of communication that happens with our customer. We just want to leverage that data to be able to give that customer what he's looking for without them having to send an email or without them having to actually pick up the phone and take over 5 or 6 of our precious minutes. If every phone call you make takes about 6 minutes, every 10 phone calls, you have lost 1 hour in your day just figuring out what is going on. And some of us take a lot more than just 10 phone calls a day. Now, we have to use the software and the technology to meet deadlines and plan effectively. This is the most important thing. You see, when we think about technology is important, but it's going to help us leverage information and the people that we have, that human resource that we have in there. With the software and technology, how it is nowadays, you're able to give people tasks. You're able to look at their deadlines to all these different employees. So for example, I'm in the warehouse and I need to step out because I need to be in a 1-hour webinar with Magaya. I can go ahead and assign Juan, my warehouse clerk, the ability to receive and to keep track of those 5 different warehouses. So I can go look at the warehouse and say, Juan, email this client when this has been received and verified. And as he's doing all of those tasks, I'm able to go in my system and say, hey, how many of these tasks are still pending? How many of these tasks have been completed? And how many of these tasks haven't really gotten started yet? Maybe Juan has too much. I can go ahead and give that one task to somebody else. So now they can go ahead and work and get the information to the customer right away. That is one way that we can go ahead and leverage the data that we have. Normally, what happens right now is we write on a piece of paper, Juan, receive these three, email these customers, and bring me this document right back when you have it done. And that's how we work. And that's efficient for us. But that's not efficient to how the customer wants to work with us moving forward. The other thing that's important is, imagine if I give Juan 5 of these different documents. That's 5 different things I have to keep track. Using technology, it allows me to track the progress and see all related data in one place, in one screen, by employee. And at the same time, it helps you build the infrastructure that lets you create data with a click instead of retyping. We gave some examples here. We know that the warehouse is important, but that's just one component of your supply chain. You may be double entry the information when it comes to booking. You may be bringing quotations. You may be, working with items outside of your warehouse, maybe in the yard. You're able to go ahead and manage all of that infrastructure within one main system. So you have to go ahead and look at that technology and move away from your analog Excel, like I used to do it, or even pen and paper, how some of us are still working nowadays. We get to our 5th point, and forwarders should create end-to-end visibility. This is important for us because at the end of the day, it's all about the customer asking information that they need in order to continue their business. Again, the customer is not in business to move freight. That's our work. That's our job. His job is to make sure that he gets what he has requested in a timely manner to make sure it's being delivered to where he wants it delivered. And all of that happens with what we're using in order to give this customer that end-to-end visibility. It goes back to that globalization point. What ends up happening is we use multiple software. You may be sitting here and say, Jose, I have software already. I am leveraging technology. I said, really? Tell me about it. And you say, well, I actually have an accounting software, maybe QuickBooks. I have a logistics operations system. Okay. I have a customer service department. I have people who are here just waiting to get a phone call. I also have project management because I do have some large enterprise customers that I need to move cargo for. I have my own WMS because I need to manage what's in the warehouse. And every once in a while, I have this one truck that needs to do these deliveries. So I have a final mile delivery software. And that's great. You're managing all of these different softwares. You're managing 6 of them. In this case here, I'm very biased. You could use Magaya. Magaya has everything that you have in here in one place. When I was working in logistics, I had 3 different softwares that allowed me to do my day-to-day. And my favorite one was the typewriter. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't the typewriter. That was when I had to sit down and type 4 or 5 A bills a day, starting at 12, so I wouldn't miss my cutoff. What ends up happening with our day-to-day is we're leveraging technology how we see fit, how it works for us. We have to go ahead and get technology to work for us correctly. And the way to the future is being able to have everything in one place. In fact, some of you may have asked yourself, and some of you haven't, what does Magaya mean? Well, Magaya means keeping cargo in one place. And that's really what we're all about. The name comes from a South American tribe in Venezuela called the Yanomami. What they build is a basket that allows them to be able to maintain all their cargo in one place. So we adopted that name to give our customers the ability to have everything in one place. You want to look at an invoice? I'll send it to you right now. You have a question about a warehouse receipt? Let me look it up right away. You have a question about something that was damaged? Let me look at the pictures when the cargo arrived. We have these enterprise customers who want to look at their purchase orders. Let me send that to you right away. I want to know what came in the warehouse yesterday. Let me write you a report that shows what I have on hand by location, by customer, by part number. Here it is. And finally, that truck driver, I can send him instructions to his phone with our final mile delivery for him to be able to know what delivery he needs to do first, second, third, to be able to get the information in one place. That is technology that works for you. It's no longer you're on your own and you're doing things how you need to do in order to get it done. Now, I guarantee all of you who are here with us can get any cargo shipped anywhere worldwide, because that's what we do. But I want you to do it faster. I want you to do it quicker in a way that gives me the information as the final customer without me having to call you. And that's the big difference. You see, those 1,700 customers that we have in over 80 countries, they do that right now. Some of you have 5 or 6 different softwares. It's very difficult for you to keep up with someone who can go from accounting to warehouse to customer service to final mile to enterprise in a matter of 2 clicks. You have to minimize one, open the other one, go to the email, attach, send, correct, resend. It's a matter of making sure that you're leveraging that necessary technology in order to do that. That's the reality. That's what I lived. And that's why now I work in Magaya, helping customers do what they do better, because we know what it is to sit in that desk. So we're taking a little bit of time. It's been roughly about half an hour that we've been here. I want to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of an offer, because it's not easy to sit here for half an hour and listen to someone tell you how to leverage technology. We want to go ahead and this is my marketing people, for a limited time. I love that word. We want to go ahead and have you try our software for 15 days. We're so convinced that it's very difficult for you to go back to how you were doing things, that we want you to try it out for 15 days. In fact, you may want to go deeper in some of the things that I discussed today. You can have a free one-on-one demo with one of our software advisors or account executives to determine if Magaya is a fit for you. You see, it's interesting. Most people will say, no, I don't know if I'm a fit for Magaya. No, Magaya has to fit you. You don't have to fit your software provider. Your software provider has to fit you. And finally, with this offer here, we want to reimburse your implementation. If you decide to try the software for 15 days, you sit with one of our advisors and you realize Magaya is a good fit for you, we will definitely reimburse you that implementation and credit you towards any monthly fees that you have. The only catch is we want you to finish that implementation in 45 days. Technology is tricky. A lot of people ask me, Jose, how long does it take for me to get started with Magaya? I say 1 week. We will install you with no longer than 1 week. We will give you some online training tools for you to start training yourself. And then you're going to sit with one of our implementation staff to take you through the process of saying, I just know how to click on Magaya, and take you through the whole process of creating shipments, giving your customers portal, and finding these agents worldwide. Now, all of you signed up, so we have your email, and I'm going to have one of my business development reps give you a call and say, what did you think about our webinar? Just say all great things. What do you think about the offer? Are you interested? And we will go ahead and help you. You can try our cloud. We'll give you access to our cloud so you can see how the software runs in the cloud. Or if you want it installed locally, some of you like to have everything installed locally. Give us access to the server. We'll talk to your IT. We'll install the software locally. We'll have you run it just as if you had Magaya. And then you're welcome to sit down with one of our executives and they'll talk to you. They want to learn about what you do, how you do it, how long you've been doing it, why you do it that way, what's important, and seeing if Magaya can fit you. Okay? Again, we'll go ahead and go over this offer specifically for you to go ahead and try it. Okay? Now again, this is available to those attending the webinar. One of the things that I love the most is when we make these offers for people who attend our webinars, And then someone says, I didn't attend the webinar, but I really want to try it, or I really want to do this. And the idea is for us to try to work with as many people as we have and as we can. I never take no for an answer. So I definitely want to open up the floor to any questions that you may have regarding what you've seen today. Okay. Someone requested that they want to see the PowerPoint. Can we send the PowerPoint? Yes. Yes, we can. We can go ahead and send you a copy of the PowerPoint if you're interested. Those of you who are interested in receiving the PowerPoint, we would definitely love an opportunity to send that over to you. Again, everyone who has joined the webinar will get a couple of emails from us thanking you for being part of it and also being able to do that. Someone asked me, is there a discount for current users? Give your account representative a call, and we'll definitely work on giving you a discount for current users. That's our biggest strength that we have is the clients that we currently have. So definitely give us a call. We'll take care of you. Okay. Thank you very much, Kim. So we'll give you a few more minutes for any questions that we have. Someone always asks me, Jose, what makes Magaya different? What makes Magaya different? In reality, what makes Magaya different is the people that work for us. We have amassed a great deal of talent here, and I'm very proud to say that being proud of it. We have people who have been in freight forwarders, people who have worked for custom brokers, people who have worked for small consolidators, people who have just worked in accounting specifically that help us with our numbers. All of that is talent that is geared to helping our customers grow and continue to grow. So Kim will definitely give you a call if we don't hear from you, but trust me, we'll make sure and help you out in any way we can. All right. So let's take a look at what's coming up in our next webinar series. We're not going to be stopping at just making these type of webinars. One of the things that our marketing department really enjoys is us sitting down, talking to you, and helping you see what the trends are. We're going to be looking at traditional forwarding versus modern forwarding in the future and the benefits that you have. We'll talk about resistance to change, why we switched. We're going to hear from Magaya customers. People, when I would talk about Magaya, they would say, Jose, you've never sat in a warehouse. You don't know how hectic it is. And I would say, no, we did. Actually, that's how I got the job in Magaya. I wanted to experience freight forwarding from inside, from the software side. So, we want to go ahead and give you as much information and as much opportunity for you to outpace the competition that's next to you. And we believe that your software provider should be able to do that. Okay, so that's what's coming up next. We are also going to be talking about e-commerce. So if you're signed up to this webinar, you're going to get a few more of these specific invitations, and we hope to see you in any future webinars that we have. Again, my name is Jose Barahona. On behalf of Magaya, I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope we were able to look at those 5 little points and make you think a little bit different. You will be hearing from one of our business development reps about what you thought. If you are interested in that offer, and if you are a customer, gladly let us know, and we know how some of you are, and we'll take care of any questions that you may have. And again, our customers and the people that work in Magaya are the biggest difference, and that is why Magaya is what Magaya is. So we thank you for this opportunity of being with us today. I think I've taken enough of your time. Any other questions, feel free to email us at marketing@magaya.com. Once again, that would be marketing@magaya.com, and we'll gladly assist you in any way, shape, or form. This is Jose Barahona with Magaya, and we thank you for joining us in today's webinar. Have a great afternoon. Thank you.